Ever since Prometheus gave the gift of fire to men, many wonderful and destructive inventions have been made. Among these, motorbikes, a mechanical marvel which straddles between magnificence and mayhem. If left unchecked, this ferocious beast can become a mighty missile.
I am Dr. Chow, an orthopedic resident at Mandeville Regional Hospital. Worldwide, 1.2 million people die in road traffic accidents each year. In Jamaica, around 30% of all road traffic deaths are related to motorcycles. One of the main reasons is that the motorbike itself virtually provides no protection. Now, despite the implementation of the helmet law in 1999, compliance still remains poor among riders.
Go up and say that so fast, yeah, why I idiot?
A large number of individuals who crash off of motorcycles do not seem to fully understand the significance of proper clothing, proper footwear, and proper headwear when they ride their motorcycles. As a result of that, a lot of the individuals who crash end up coming back to the hospital with similar injuries or more severe injuries.
Morning. Babes, you won't believe what Dr. Joe did yesterday. Worse in front of all the interns, you know. I saw.
Jerry, I thought we said we would discuss this.
I thought we did discuss this. I told you I was going to buy a bike this year.
But the year has just started. What are your parents going to say? What about
Whoa. What are you talking about, parents? I left my parents' house so that I can be able to make my own decisions. I don't want to depend on them for a thing.
Oh, so you rather let your own destruction get into our lives?
What are you talking about, destruction? Listen, remember that I'm a doctor. If you give a scalpel to a criminal, he can inflict pain. But if I use a scalpel, I can cause good. It's the same thing with a bike. It's the same bike with two different persons.
Oh, so you're rather riding on the back of a scalpel?
You know what? There's no winning with you. I'm going to leave right now.
Jerry! Jerry! Be careful.
Where are you? Literature shows pillion riders' mortality rates are actually higher than the actual riders' mortality rate, and this is the rate, the numbers in which they die. And in terms of the severity of injury, pillion riders have more severe injury than the actual riders. It is therefore essential that all riders, pillion riders and the riders themselves, wear their protective gears, such as their helmets, their elbow guards, their knee guard, proper shoes, and proper clothing when riding.
You know how long you have me out here stand up and wait upon you?
Yeah, man, sorry about that, man.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tristan Thompson, currently a resident in orthopedics at the Mandeville Regional Hospital. Motorcycle riding, whilst enjoyable, should be done responsibly. Most persons, however, don't engage in responsible use of motorcycles. You find that people don't have adequate gear, they don't wear helmets, they don't obey the road code, and in some instances, this is also compounded by the driving behaviors of motorists, sometimes pedestrians, and the general infrastructure of the roadways in Jamaica.
Yeah, the nurse them said them like it.
But you've seen your patients die from motorbike accidents every single day.
Listen, those patients, they don't know what they're doing. I've been riding for as long as I can remember. Why can't you just trust me? This relationship is not going to work if you don't trust me. The hospital calling me. Now hold on.
I'm Dr. Regis, orthopedic resident assigned to the Mandeville Regional Hospital. For the average Jamaican male, motorbike is the cheaper form of transportation in terms of investment. Also, it's considered fashionable or hype. However, without proper investment in proper footwear and gear can result in serious injuries which could cause financial strain on the individual.
Hello. Give me about 5 minutes, you see me? I go forward on that. Yo, I get a call, you know. So, I have to go make a move, you see me? Yeah, man. Alright, bro, that's a word, so you see me do your thing, you see me? Let's up.
Hey, Donovan. Hey, Jerry. We're Pete.
I don't know him gone.
Man, you never know nothing yet.
No man, I'm tell you. Him say him soon come back still, no?
What's the one I tough king Monday?
Yo, bartender. Yo, him soon come back. Pass me that. Yeah man, respect. Hold on. Pass. Alright. Gone again.
I am Denzel Williams, Manager of Physiotherapy Services, Mandeville Regional Hospital and the Southern Regional Health Authority. Let us look at the top 10 causes of motorbike accidents. Number 1 is distracted driving. 2nd, speeding, as the name suggests. 3, drunk driving. 4, reckless driving. Rain is number 5. 6, running red lights. 7, running stop signs. Teenage drivers. 8, night driving. 9, and design defects. Number 10.
Yo, me the power WhatsApp and forward in that. Hello?
Gram 1023.
So well, let me know if I need page an ambulance.
10-4, we got a lane shut down, so I'll put you on it.
Door.
556, Grant.
556.
I am 1095, 1055 with.
Door.
556 Granted Musketeer.
Troy.
Motorcycle injuries are very expensive to treat. Most instances that people get injured from a motorcycle accident, it involves the long bones of the body. So most instances we find the femur, which is between the hip and the knee, and the tibia, which is between the knee and the ankle. The injury to the tibia accounts for over 70% of injuries to motorcyclists. Additionally, of the injuries we see in our clinic, 20% of that and more is often attributed to motorcyclists. So many patients who have long bone injuries have a history of being involved in a motorcycle accident. Come!
Good morning, Dr. Thompson. How are you today?
I'm not too bad, Nurse Williams. How are you?
I'm okay so far, thanks. Mr. Stephen Robinson is here to see you today. So he's outside waiting.
So he's here?
Yes, he is.
Alright, just give me a minute and then I can send him in.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks. This is hard. Why would we tell Mr. Roberts that I have to delay a surgery again? This is so unfair, man. So unfair. Come!
Morning, Doctor.
Morning, Mr. Roberts. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Have a seat, please. Mr. Roberts, how are you doing?
Still have the pain in the leg, you know. The knee is killing me.
Yeah, I understand, you know. But, Mr. Roberts, I know that today we're supposed to be putting everything together for the final planning for your surgery.
Yes,
but
sir.
have bad news for you, you know.
Really? So I'm not going to be scheduled for next week as planned?
Well, what happened is last night we had a major accident. 3 motorcyclists had a bad thing with a truck, a car, and they came with major injuries. And remember the blood we had arranged for you that you had made the family donate and your friends and so on. Well, the blood bank said they had no choice but to give it to the surgeons to use for these patients. And I was even there last night. I had to go in and wash out a man's leg. He had an open fracture, and it's frustrating, you know, because I really wanted to do your surgery, really want to get your thing sorted out. And it's been 3 months, and every time we plan, every time it's like something like this just keep happening. I don't know what it is. It's because pressure in us, man. They give us no chance. Just last week, you know, we had a blood drive, you know, and we got about 50 people to give blood. And it's like, as fast as we get the blood in, it's as fast that it goes over. We can't win, we can't get a break. It's just frustrating. And it must be even harder for you, because I know you haven't had this thing for 3 months. You have your family to go and sort out, and everything was looking good, you know?
Yeah, what's hard for me is I have to go get everybody to come back and donate blood again.
Yeah, you know, it's frustrating. I don't know. I was even thinking myself, why I have to tell you this again? It's the third time we're doing this, you know. You realize that?
Yo, man, you nobody this, you know, man, you. Yo, nobody the foolishness, you know, that.
What happened? I came as soon as I heard.
It doesn't look good.
Because of the extent of the trauma to a person's body that takes place when they're involved in a motor vehicle accident, when they get significant bone injuries and also significant injuries to their skin and soft tissue, where they have loss of skin and soft tissue and blood loss, these patients usually end up requiring blood transfusions either before, during, or after surgery. It is, as a result of that, it's important that patients who come in with motorbike accidents and have all of these injuries, that their relatives are always asked and implored to give blood, you know, so that they would have blood available for them when it comes time for surgery.
This could have been me.
But thank God it wasn't.
Keisha, how could you say that?
I don't mean it like that. But Peter's always been a reckless and unsafe rider. But promise me one thing. If you keep that bike, just be a safe rider.
Listen, I know I'm not invincible. And I know that every time I ride this bike, I have to remember that I'm coming home to you and Melissa.
But wait, has anyone called Kim?
I had to call her.
Hello? What? No!
Kim.
Where is he? When then?
Kim, them now gonna make you go in like that, Kim. Just hold on. Them carrying him up to ICU right now. Alright, just relax. You have to breathe. You have to hold on. Just hold on, Kim. Hold on.
I see him now.
Yeah, man, you soon get to see him. Kim. Just take a deep breath and just breathe.
You don't tell me. Go inside.
Kim,
Let's
listen,
see
Kim, you need to stop the foolishness. You're causing a lot of problems and you're making matters worse. Okay?
Here.
Security,
What if you don't let me see?
Alright.
Pete.
I know me can't believe me still stay away from morning me there so.
No long me away too. But they have me hard still, you know. Because my friend when you're Ricky, them say short of blood. I have to leave the serious part first. By the way, Mandeville Hospital have blood drive, and I'm going to do my part and donate blood.
The donation process takes 30 minutes. 30 minutes of your time can save the lives of 3. That is the greatest act of kindness. Don't think you can donate? Why? Age, so long as you're between the ages of 17 and 60, with a healthy body weight at least above 110 pounds. Smoker? No problem. Just stop smoking 3 days before your donation. Mild diabetes? You can donate. Mild hypertension? You can donate. Tattoo? No problem, as long as your tattoo is at least a year old. Ideally, we'd like you to have a meal 3 hours before your donation.
I know because of this high demand for blood by these accident victims, what happens is that patients who require elective surgeries and non-emergency procedures and they require blood, they tend to get left in the lurch in terms of not being able to have blood available for them to do their operations. Because when accident victims come in, these individuals are usually coming on an emergency situation and blood is therefore prioritized towards them, even if they have not given blood or not. As a result of that, patients who might need to have surgery for their bowels, surgery for cancer, etc., and they might need blood for these operations, might not end up having enough blood. The system might not end up having enough blood to provide for them when it comes time for them to have their surgery. So these motorbike accidents with their high blood demand, they put a stress on the whole blood bank system, and also, apart from affecting themselves and their own family, they affect other individuals who need blood for other procedures.
Hey Rick, you look a bit tired and exhausted today, but you know, I really understand. However, I just want to encourage you, my dear, just to keep at it, because guess what? We need as many donors as possible to come with us, you know, to help us in this life-saving venture.
Many patients take an average 40 days to get surgery, not necessarily due to us, but because of general factors such as economic issues. They can't afford to pay for the metals or the implants to fix themselves. Additionally, it's also expensive to feed a patient. On average, it takes $610 to feed a patient per day. And this is just for a fit patient. This is even more money when you add up people with medical comorbidities and who have other injuries that cause them to spend more time in hospital. The cost of a lock nail, which is used to fix the long bones, is approximately $114,000. Plate for some of the injuries is roughly $8,000 to $10,000, and then we have to add in the screws, and screws cost an average of around $200 to $300.
Yeah. 2017, 30 of December, a meeting to the accident. Down to the Holland Bamboo, you know? Going down on my right, you know? And I never see anything on the street, you know? The street is clear. And when I realize we get a lick, and after we get that lick, I lick out for about 8-9 seconds, never know myself, you know? And after I know myself now, I just find myself fall up into the bank side, you know? And when we look at my hand and my feet, you know, all of my feet lick out, and my hand lick out and mash up, and I start to cry and say, Lord, look how I get mashed up.
My name is Jason Quintana. I'm 26 years old. This accident occurred on the 1st of January after the countdown. Well, I was riding behind this car on Caledonia Road in Mandeville, and the car suddenly cut speed. Me thinking that he was going to put on his indicator to turn left or right. He didn't put on any indicator, and he just turned and the bike just collide in the car, and you know, that's reach a hospital. And you know, that's me get this, and I have to go do surgery on it the 26th of this month, KPH.
Hi, my name is Chadwick Barrett. In 2015, September 3rd, I left home, heading back home. I came up on a car, come slam straight in my foot. So that night became a nightmare. When I wake up, I realized that I was lying in the storm drain. Tried to move my right hand, couldn't move. Tried to move the right foot, realized it was broke. They put me in a van, transport me to the hospital. While I was being transferred, blood was leaking from my body. While I reached the hospital now, I was told that 3/4 of the blood in the body was lost. I had to be on oxygen to help me to breathe, so forth. I did 4 months in hospital. If anybody would have looked for say them have to buy a bike, just think twice. It's been 2 years and 4 months now since I've been off my foot, and I don't work a day
since the accident. So you can understand what's the consequence of riding a bike. You understand? Yeah.
Trauma and its impact on the physiotherapy department in this region. First, I'll begin with a definition of trauma, and there are three. It's a deeply distressing and disturbing experience. It's an injury, blunt, or a wound to living tissues caused by an extrinsic agent. And finally, an emotional upset. What is the usual injuries associated with motorbike accidents? These would include orthopedic, neurological, cardiopulmonary, and surgical. Let's zone in a little bit on the orthopedic side. The most common injury in motorbike accidents for orthopedic is the tibial plateau fractures. But there are also wrist fractures, ankle fractures, fractures of the femur, and if it's motor vehicle in terms of cars, the most common is usually the whiplash type injuries. Neurological injuries varies, and we see concussions, we see subarachnoid hemorrhages, we see multiple level spinal cord injuries, and traumatic brain injuries as well. For the cardiopulmonary injuries, we will mention the pulmonary contusions, usually the lung bruise. These form 30 to 75% of the severe chest injuries. The risk of death following this type of injury is between 14 to 40%. Surgical, we're thinking of more the blunt traumas. They usually impact mostly spleen and liver, are the most commonly injured organs. There is also penetrating type injuries, and these are usually when objects breaks the skin. You may have also hollow organ injuries, and these may lead to leakages into the abdominal cavity called peritonitis. How does these type of accident affect the resources of the hospital? These impacts are massive, very significant, and very expensive. The trauma patient's length of stay on the wards across the varied inpatient services, such as physiotherapy, ranges between 2 weeks to 8 weeks, averaging around 40 days. However, for the outpatient side of physiotherapy, the length of stay, best scenario, ranges from 2 weeks to 16 weeks, but may take years, especially the moderate to worse cases.
Okay, here at the Mandeville Regional Hospital, we have had over the past few years a lot of underage individuals. These are adolescents less than 16 years of age. The youngest we've had, I think, was 13 years old, who are riding motorcycles and crashed. In one incident, one of the individuals died. He was 14 years old. The other one survived, ended up coming and having major surgery. In another incident, both of them crashed and had very severe injuries to their lower limbs, which were, it was so badly matched up that it was inoperable. The problem with these young kids when they come in is that they are not of the age where they're able to give consent for us to operate on them. And apart from that, their understanding of the significance of their injury is not there. So when you're trying to explain to them the impact that this will have on their life 10, 15 years after the incident, they don't fully understand.
We have a new receptionist, Mrs. Marshall. Mrs. Marshall, Mr. Johnson.
What we doing, man? We're not meeting the accident today. Mrs. Marshall?
How's it been since the accident?
Rough in our butts, you know?
can't complain. Past year and almost 2 years, you know. Been through a lot, but it actually make our friends stronger and everything, you know. We are alright and
Yeah.
foot up and everything right, you know. So.
I also did training in healthcare. I became a physiotherapist, receptionist. And you know, this has also helped me to help others who have gone through traumatic experiences. So Mr. Johnson, you're no discharge. Alright, all the best.
I'm gonna get the car, okay, babe?
Mr. Williams? Yes. Yeah, man. Oh, I'm going to just say, yeah, my team had more than a 2 year day or anything. But I tell you, boy, see the bike. Nah, go back on here. Nah, go back. No, I'm coming up. Unless you're good and everything, but can't man, we nah, come back as a son. Have a party bike, you know? I could just put it on. Dangerous.
Anyway, ride wise here, son. Ride wise, and if you decide to drive, drive wise. Alright.
It is common practice in Jamaica to be seen motorcyclists riding on the streets, no helmet, in proper gear, no shoes, or sometimes in just slippers. This is unsafe practice. The minimum requirements for a motorcyclist who intends to be a safe rider are as follows. A helmet, which in the event of an accident helps prevent head injuries. They should also be covered in the upper body, so a leather jacket or a riding specific jacket that protects them from falls and abrasions is also essential. They should also be wearing gloves, because gloves protect the fingers and the hands from serious injury. With regards to the lower body, a pair of jeans pants is a minimum requirement, or riding specific pants. Additionally, they should be wearing proper shoes. These shoes should be made of leather or durable material and should cover the ankles. This is what makes a safe rider. Remember, ride wise, save lives.